What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're going to talk a little bit more about the Yankee White Racketeers, the security clearance compensation fraud run by a racketeering organization, a criminal organization that stops at no end and does many unspeakable things. Most recently, I released a video about Jasmine Barkus, basically a prostitute, a sex worker who wanted me to get with her so that she could solicit funds from my security clearance compensation or from the government. I declined. Her coworker did the same. Somebody who identifies as a woman but has a penis and a vagina, and wanted to have sex with me and tried to solicit it, and I said no. And then they tried to force me to watch their pornography, and when I politely declined that, they went ahead and went full force attack and did everything they could to try to get me fired. Eventually the boss realized what was going on, and I had to part ways. Now they are running off with a narrative here at NAU that somehow I'm homophobic, even though just the other day I was volunteering at a organization that takes care of disenfranchised and underprivileged folks and communities, including the gay community. And so they're basically grasping at straws here, trying to come up with some sort of false narrative and trying to trump up support for their bullshit ideology and thought process. And it's very much unacceptable, obviously. It's very much fraudulent, and it's very fucking stupid. Now, more recently, Saif Abdullah, his wife, was basically trying to come at me with an approach of, hey, I want to marry you instead. My husband failed. He bet all of his finances on trying to screw you over, and he absolutely failed. And now he doesn't have much of anything. And so I would like to get with you, right? And so in the nighttime in my RV, when they would put me under sedative, and she would do things to me without consent, of course. And when I politely declined and said, like, hey, I'm not into you, you're just like a really shitty person, like your personality is shit, your entire identity is based off of having sex with everybody and using your daddy's money to get your way. She basically just did not like the honesty and the straightforwardness of me breaking things off with her, and she started to attack me. She started to attack a woman that I was interested in, but even then, to this day, I decided to basically just not date anybody anymore. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna have romantic interests. I'm a human being. I'm not, I'm not asexual to where I just drop all romantic interests. But I decided that for the duration of my clearance investigation, because of the abuse that I'm enduring from the very people that are investigating me for the clearance, I decided just to not date anybody and just not to have romantic encounters with anybody. Yeah, and so, Saif Abdullah's wife has recently been causing a storm and making all sorts of social media posts about how I won't be able to use her daddy's airfield because I wasn't nice to her, and how even though I didn't want to get with her, she can have sex with me anyways because she works in special forces and is able to use, laughing gas to put me under no matter where I am. Her husband told me that I wouldn't be able to get financial recourse from them because he was going to divorce her, and therefore I wouldn't be able to have access to any finances because he would just give her everything. And so they're just very open and blunt about these loopholes. I mean, she would say, yeah, well, I'm just a Harris, and all of this stuff belongs to my dad anyway, so you can't touch it. And meanwhile, she's abusing these resources to put forward an effort to attack me and attack, simply the fact that she owes me money because of things she's done to me. She's now like making personal attacks and leveraging her husband and her father's resources to attack me. And I'm sure, being that they are who they are, they have their own little private jets, their sport planes and blah blah blah, And to be honest, I was never out to get their airfield, but now they're coming to me in tears, and Sayef Abdullah is saying, I feel betrayed. You didn't let me rob you of everything. And it's like I never invited him in my life to try to rob me. And several times I told him off, and several times I emailed him at his email address, which is vingati@gmail.com, because I used to work for him. So I know these kinds of things, and I know the kind of person he is. And growing up with him, he was always a little bit on the stupider side. But I did my best, to be approachable and nice to him, because he's like, hey, I'm an admiral. I can fuck around with you if I want. I can send whatever woman I want to sleep with you, and you will marry who I say you will marry. And he was trying to get me to marry Saif ul Huq's wife. And I just was not interested, to be honest. I mean, I don't see why I would be interested in marrying somebody's wife. Like, they genuinely think I'm so stupid that they could try to force a marriage, force an arranged marriage, that is, with a cunt that they have on lock, that who would basically do as they say. And obviously, I decided my approach was going to be, fuck that shit. I'm not going to marry some chick that you guys try to force me to marry. I'd rather live my own best life. And that's exactly what I've been doing. And, I'm making this post specifically because that same Lebanese chick that Sayef Abdullah is married to, she's coming at me full force swinging. She's bragging that she's like, she's having an emotional breakdown, basically a mental breakdown, right? Because in one social media post, she's like posting photos of herself bragging. She's like, haha, I had sex with this guy that I really wanted. And then in the next post, she's like, fuck you. You don't get to touch my daddy's assets just because I use them against you, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, I wish somebody that immature would just fuck off to another corner of the planet. Like, I don't see why she has to socially be involved with me. I get it. They bet all their finances on trying to fuck me over, and they failed. But I just don't see why the fuck that is my problem, right? Like, if you're stupid and you go to a casino and you bet all your money on, a single number on the roulette wheel, and you lose your money because it was a long shot in the first place, but the reward was so high and so appealing that you said, oh, might as well do it, then you're suffering from gambling addiction when you do that over and over and over. And the thing is, Sayef Abdullah and his Lebanese wife, the retarded whore, the one that is basically a heiress to tons of money, and she uses that money, and she tries to use that sort of barrier as some sort of protection from her fucking me over. They suffer from this gambling addiction, and so do a lot of people in their little community, right? I mean, this is how they came up on money, by screwing people over. And so when they tried to screw me over, and I didn't just cave in to their efforts, they tried to blame me for it, right? So Ahmed Abdullah would try to get me to sleep with his twin wives, fiancés, whatever you want to call them, and I politely declined, and he was desperate to try to get me to marry them, right? And so their effort is always very straightforward. First and foremost, they want me to at least sleep with these women, so they could say, oh, he was romantically involved with them, therefore they carried some of the burden of his security clearance process, his little war game exercise, therefore they're entitled to a portion of the compensation. And then they force this sleeping with me by putting me under a sedative, and then forcing their woman on me. And that has been their literal wives, that has been their literal mothers, right? And it's really desperate, and it's really fucking gross. And so first and foremost, it's things like that. And then second of all, they actually try to get me to marry that woman, right? They think I'm so far gone and so retarded, Jasmine Barkas category retardation, that they think that I'm just going to marry the person that they send my way. But to be honest, like, I have romantic interests outside of their little rich people community that all went to ACA together and all know each other, and they marry within each other to try to get richer and all that weird shit. I mean, the amount of times that Sayef Abdullah has come to me in tears and been like, please, I'm going to lose everything, don't make my wife divorce me, has been really pathetic and sad. It's like, so your marriage is based more on finances and maslahah than it is, actually, enjoying each other and loving each other. Like, that's cool. Like, it's not my business. I'm not dissing anybody. Like, people's relationships are really not my business, and I never wanted to be in a position to be even making commentary about it. But this is my reality, right? I mean, these people are pushing their stupidity on me, and then they get frustrated when I have an opinion on it, right? So like a retarded high-risk bitch uses her daddy's airfield and a bunch of her friends' aircrafts and her daddy's aircrafts. Basically, the entire Saif Abdullah, Saif ul Haq ACA community, all these folks that live with each other and amongst each other, they're really frustrated that I would call them out on utilizing these assets against me and expecting some sort of immunity because it's on her daddy's airfield. The best I can say is, maybe I can buy you guys some economy class tickets if you can't afford to get your airplane back. I don't know what to tell you. It's not like I'm in charge of these shadow courts that run the restitution, the ones that snatch up your guys' belongings from all the shitty things that you guys do to me. I have nothing to do with that process, but clearly that process is there. It exists, and you guys have lost so many of your assets, so many of your homes, so many of your things, and you make it my problem because I don't marry some person that you choose. And I might make shitty comments about the sex workers that you send to me, but it isn't about the industry. It isn't about the fact of life and human society that's a thing that exists. The shitty commentary is that you guys choose somebody that solely exists in that realm. Like they have no personality otherwise, they have no life success otherwise, and it's just pathetic and weird. And it's like, I didn't even grow up in your community, right? I didn't even go to Arizona Cultural Academy. We were childhood friends at best, and you want to cling on to that memory and try to leverage it against me to try to get me to, bend to your will and give you all my money. And that's like a really sad to see the reality settle in and to see them realize that by doubling, tripling, quadrupling, quintupling, et cetera, on their gamble and by losing even more and more money, it's really sad to watch their lives crumble and fall apart. I mean, these people absolutely need therapy, and I'm just not equipped to handle this many fucking retarded people. I've helped so many people in my life, and it's been out of a gesture of goodwill, and it's been things that maybe I could try to handle, right? Even then, I'm not some sort of certified expert, right? For example, I lived with Saif ul Haq. He has fetal alcohol syndrome. He's special needs. He needs help just getting by day to day. He needs somebody to talk to at the end of the day and play video games with him. His parents set me up to do that. In reality, they were trying to put a spin on that fact and make me out to be the special needs person. Whatever. The point is, I had good intentions going into it. I tried to help the guy out. But when you send me a whole community that's trying to fuck me over and also has a serious gambling addiction issue and is, taking advantage of their own community's finances and resources, and they drive themselves to absolutely being broke just because they think they can capitalize on somebody that they used to know. I really think they need therapy. I think they need gambling therapy. I think they need help. I think they need to be on suicide watch. I think their relationships need therapy. I mean, when your entire relationship is based off of money and maslaha and using your daddy's resources and saying, oh, if you won't fuck me, I won't let you use my daddy's airfield. Like, if that's what makes you, if that's how you try to win over friendships, I'm really sorry. And I just don't know what to do for these folks. I mean, if you guys want to leave a comment and chime in, if you want to give me some advice on how to help retarded people that are digging their own grave deeper and deeper, I am all ears. But I basically have given up on, trying to be some sort of pseudo therapist, some sort of community member of people that don't even respond with the equivalent feeling of community. They're not even friends. They're not even acquaintances at this point. They just make themselves even deeper and deeper enemies. And when I won't fuck their wives, they try to get me to fuck their mothers. And when I won't fuck their mothers or their wives, they brag that they're admirals with the Navy and with the Air Force, and that they can put me under anesthesia, and that they can force their wives or their mothers to fuck me. And that's just really sad. And it's a really shitty narrative for them to be proudly wearing as a badge of honor. It's really pathetic that they're trying to drag this mud into NAU. I mean, I know this isn't a very respectable institution. I know it's very easy for classes to be set up. You know, for example, I work at US Thai Cuisine. Jasmine Barkus tries to fuck me over there. Then she gets a job at NAU specifically to be my instructor while cross-dressing and acting as some sort of man. But she still has a chimpanzee-ass bitch look to her, and it's very obvious that it's her. And it's very obvious that she's taking steps to try to fuck me over. And it's like, you know, they pull these really stupid moves. They involve institutions. They involve their father's finances. They use all of their friends and family's airplanes. You know, Saif ul Haq tries to pretend he's looking after me and being nice to me. He'll always send foreigners to speak a foreign language nearby me, and he's like, "See, I'm looking after my friend. He's the special needs one, even though my skull is literally so small that my brain can't fully develop. He's the special needs one, you know, and I'm looking after him by trying to teach him different languages, by sending foreigners to speak a foreign language nearby him." And it's just really sad, you know. And more recently, you know, every straight guy could probably understand this a little better than anybody from the queer community. But obviously, I don't discriminate. But that's just my opinion. I feel like straight males in general kind of understand how big of an issue this is, and how deep in it Saif ul Haq is, and how much of his own finances and his own lifestyle he's gambled off into nothingness. I jokingly offered, I was like, wow, since I won't fuck your mother and I won't fuck your wife, maybe you can put out a gay porno instead. It looks like you're down to your last options. Maybe you should put out a gay porno. Maybe you and Saif Abdullah should fuck each other in the ass, because he loves doing that in his free time away from his wife. And so Saif ul Haq has been coming to me with like, yeah, like if this wins me a little bit of money, like that I can go ahead and gamble later on, like, yeah, I'd love to put out a gay porno. And knowing that that he prefers people to think of him as a straight man, even though he has like a hidden gay persona. You know, I lived with him, so it's like when I walk out of his room and he has a guy friend over and the entire room smells like shit, and he didn't take a shit, you know, it's like, you know, because I would also clean his bathroom and stuff too. He's really he needs a lot of help just getting along in life. But you know, when his entire bedroom smells like poop is misted in the air, it's like, okay, so you guys railed each other and you're hiding it. Like, you know, I've had tons of gay friends, bi friends, etc. from those sorts of communities. I grew up in America, like it just happens. And if you're an open-minded person, these people tend to come to you even. You know, it's not that I seek these people out and I try to pretend I have this liberal mindset. It's just, I just naturally do, and I end up meeting these people. And so I kind of understood. I was like, okay, he's closeted, he's special. I'm just going to look after him, be nice to him, give him as much time as he needs to come out of the closet. Like, I'm not going to, you know, interfere with his the persona that he wants to put out there. And so, you know, that's just how desperate these people are, and that's the extent and lengths of shit that they've tried to put out there and make my fault, right? Like, imagine if you were just a casino employee. You know, you're just trying to get by. You're just working as a server. Maybe you'd bring drinks to a poker table or something. Maybe you're a janitor, right? Maybe you just sweep up the floor. You do a lot of mucky jobs just to get by. And some guy that gambled all his money off at the casino comes to you, and he's seething, and he's crying, and he's like, why won't you fuck Saif ul Haq's wife? Why won't you sleep with her? Why won't you fuck my wife? Why won't you sleep with his mother? You know, and he's just seething, and he's making it your fault that he gambled all his money away. And that aptly describes the kind of folks that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. And that includes Jasmine Barkus and Tara Harrington as well. You know, they try to push some sort of false narrative that I'm homophobic, but meanwhile I volunteer up the street at a coffee bar that serves the gay community and disenfranchised folks, which oftentimes involves gays, unfortunately, and their own boyfriend works there too. And guess what? When their boyfriend got caught wind of the fact that they couldn't fire me from Iwas Taikazine, and they went ahead and said, well, you can't volunteer here anymore. And that person had no authority to tell me that I couldn't volunteer there anymore. But I went ahead and put it on the record. I spoke to the person that runs that place, and I spoke to the individuals that in the group chat, and they said, yeah, by the way, if anything that he says goes. We are the co-founders of this place. Anything that this guy says goes. And so basically, somebody with no authority tried to fire me, and then the people with authority were like, yeah, well, if he tried to fire you, then I guess you're not welcome here. And so they're creating this narrative. They're molding the clay, and they're creating this narrative that somehow I'm homophobic. And I just feel really sad for them. It's really pathetic. They're fucking losers for it, and I just want nothing to do with them, to be honest. So from daddy's airfields to an entire university campus, they're trying everything they can do to try to create a false narrative that somehow I need their help, and somehow they should be in charge of my finances. They send Joshua fucking Gus from my elementary school to live with me as a roommate, and you know what? I just literally don't talk to the fucking dude. I stick to my business. I deal with my own shit. And he doesn't clean up after himself. I just make it very apparent and obvious that maybe he should. And I mind my business, and I live my own life. I got my own little room. We share a kitchen and a bathroom, but it's not a big fucking deal. It's not like we're best friends. It's not like he looks after me in any way. It's not like I would ever want him to look after me in any way. I mean, we literally knew each other in elementary school. Maybe, some passing by each other's faces in middle school, but that's about fucking it. And so, I just really feel, I really feel sorry for these folks, even if I'm eating up all of their spite, even if I'm dealing with all of their bullshit, I really feel sorry for them, because they're destroying their own lives in the name of clout, in the name of trying to destroy my life. They're destroying daddy's finances. That lady's daddy, Saif Abdullah's wife, her daddy came and chastised me for even mentioning, like, hey, does your dad know you're talking to me? Because I was very much aware that she was involved with Saif Abdullah, and I just felt like she was a fucking loser for, going behind her husband's back and trying to talk to somebody that he knows. I was like, so either you guys are trying to fuck me over, or you're a fucking loser. And it turns out she's just a fucking loser, because her dad was very much aware and understanding that she was going to try to, seduce me so that she could have access to my finances. And he came and he chastised me, and then she let me know, oh yeah, I get to use daddy's finances, I get to use his airstrip, we're untouchable, we're all generals here, all of our friends are admirals and shit in the Navy. And, to be honest, I just don't wish them well. And I don't care if they go broke. I don't care if their airfields, gets turned into a fucking, trash dump. I honestly just don't care. More recently, when Saif Abdullah started losing his finances, he's like, I'm going to make sure you and the girl that you love die in a burning plane accident. And it's like, bro, first of all, I literally don't know Gabriela Mihailovich. Like, I love her because I loved her growing up, and I appreciate her. And we had a running joke that we would marry each other someday. And, I get to keep these old friendships going in a way that makes me happy, like for myself. The same, even though Joshua Gus is living with me to fuck me over, I'll never forget his hearty laugh and the way he makes everybody around him smile. That's a very, awesome characteristic. Same goes for Clark Weinberger, for example. And as far as Gabriella goes, like, her laugh will absolutely, like, destroy me and make my heart melt. But it doesn't mean that we're getting married next week, right? He's just comparing every woman in my life, even if they're tangentially involved, even if I don't actually fucking know them, he's just comparing them to his own wife, or Saif ul Haq's wife, people from his close-knit intelligence community who he was trying to force me to marry, right? He's like, oh, you won't marry my wife, but you'll marry that one girl? Well, I'll make sure you guys die in an airplane accident. I'll make sure I shoot you because we have snipers and we're assassins, I'll make sure I use a stingray to stab you in the nighttime, because we can assault you whenever we want. And, I guess the same way his retarded wife's identity is, I have big tits and I have money and I get plastic surgery on my face like every other week. I guess his identity is, I'm an assassin, I'm super cool, and you owe me money. Give me your lunch money. And so I have a really hard time not using, unwelcome words like retarded, right? Because it's just not a word people use these days. But I don't think there's a better word to describe somebody who is mentally stunted their entire childhood and is kind of known for it in their community, and who tries to rob people to no end, even when they start to drain their own parents' finances, right? Like when Ahmed Abdullah lost his fiancées because they preferred to sleep with me instead of him, even though they were sleeping with me unconsensually. When he lost his fiancées, his mother came crying to me. She was like, "How dare you? It's all your fault." And it's like, damn, honey, you raised these boys. I'm sorry, they might wear stars on their shoulders, they might be fucking admirals, because they paid God knows who off to give them that rank. But the fact of the matter is they're still boys, right? They're acting very immature. You might call it a war game exercise, blah, blah, blah. But they literally lost the respect of their wives in the process of trying to get at me. They literally tried to, pawn your pussy off as some sort of method of payment. And that's just something I don't respect, when family is family and, they're enjoying their family time, that's a whole other story. But these fucking losers, my God, I mean, I won't run out of stories. I mean, they just keep coming at me, and they keep shooting themselves in the foot and coming to me crying. It's like that funny ass meme. Anyways, I won't get into that. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you listening. Just some pertinent updates, important factoids, and timely update, really. I mean, these things are happening real time. The NAU corruption from the police station call center, dispatch center here in Flagstaff, the Flagstaff PD dispatch center, to the NAU PD dispatch center, all the way to NAU faculty and staff being involved in the security clearance compensation theft. The students, they try to set me up with as many females in certain classrooms as possible to try to up my chances of dating one of them so they could fuck me over. Retarded bitch that I haven't heard from in months, resurfacing, coming to me crying because it's dawning on her that her husband gambled away all of their finances and all of their family's finances in some sort of desperate attempt to vilify me and try to save the soul of Saif ul Haq, who basically started all this shit. And the guy is literally 36. He has the emotional maturity of a 16-year-old. Somehow his rank is admiral, but when he's sitting down watching a scary movie, he comes to me and he says, please don't leave the living room and go to bed and go to sleep. I need you to sit down and watch a scary movie with me. I'm scared, right? And so when people are paying bribes to become admirals, and that's the kind of men they are, like they want to hold on to their guy best friend while they watch a scary movie because they're gigantic fucking pussies. Maybe they shouldn't be the folks that we're training to be assassins or fighter pilots, Like when Saif Abdullah and Saif ul Haq buzz me with their F-16s, and they're like, if you don't give us your money, we can kill you with our fucking cannons, and call it a training accident. And it's like, you know what? I'm just going to tell the world, and you're going to look dumb for that. I'm going to let the world know, like, these are the kind of folks that become F-16 pilots, the people that pay the biggest bribes and not our best and brightest. Because I've definitely met enlisted folks that I would trust going to war with much more than these candy-ass, pansy-ass officers that really have no self-restraint and no self-control and no capacity to be a man, right? Let alone function in the, let alone function as an officer in charge of all these folks. They're literally pawning off their wives and their mothers because instead of putting their own respect on the line, they put the respect of their mothers and their wives on the line. And this is just some of what has happened recently. This isn't even all of it, but it's just that the retarded chick that's basically selling off her daddy's assets because she's a Harris, and that's a Hyrus, and and that's her identity is I'm a Hyrus and I get plastic surgery all the time, and I worked at my husband's brothel and he married me because I have big tits. Like, that's her identity, and somehow I'm supposed to give a fuck because she's losing those assets to a shadow court system that I have nothing to do with and I have no say in. Somehow it's my fault, right, that they gambled this money off. Meanwhile, I'm just a janitor at this casino, and they're fucking like just some really trashy drunk people that are like, oh fuck, we gambled all our money away, it's all this janitor's fault. It's like, bruh, I'm literally just getting a degree, I'm just going to school, I'm living my best life. Why don't you crawl back into the hole whence you came and go assassinate people, whatever makes you feel like a big man, right? Go marry another rich chick. I think you might have made this one broke with all your fuck ups. Yeah, it's gosh, I mean, that's, yeah, I mean, I and the fact that they're attacking and also trying to involve people that I'm tangentially involved with. I mean, the other day, somebody who suffers with suicidal ideation, somebody who is on the autism spectrum, and somebody who struggles with friendships, they brought him along, and then they would force him to drink alcohol because he is a recovering alcoholic and he got over that stuff. They forced him to drink alcohol as a way to murder him in some sort of way to get back at me, because that's how pathetic these people are, right? Those same folks, they treated him so wrong, and they got him a gun to try to intimidate me with a gun, even though he shouldn't have access to guns because he struggled like very deeply in the past with suicidal ideation. And it's just like the list goes on. I mean, I wonder how much I need to describe about these people before you realize that maybe they're just inbred rich people and they're just not fit to serve. In no capacity have they made sacrifices for their country. They more so just line their pockets with taxpayer dollars and rob people like completely. And they try to pretend they're going to save the day. They try to pretend they're going to serve the Flagstaff community, the NAU community, the staff, and the faculty. They try to pretend they're going to give them a slice of the cake. But these people are not those people. The Ulhuck family, they just take, and they're known for it. Saif Ulhuck's mother, who is very promiscuous and basically sleeps around all the time, even with Saif Ulhuck's friends. And she literally came to my dorm pretending to be a maintenance worker to try to sleep with me. The same thing Danielle Olson did to me in California. She came to my hotel room pretending to be a maid so she could try to sleep with me because she felt like she was owed money and she had no other approach. And it's important to put these details out there because it gives you context of desperation, the absolutely horrid, shitty things these people do to vulnerable individuals. And I'm not talking about me, that's for sure. So it's like vulnerable individuals that these folks are attacking other vulnerable individuals and, using their finances to rob America blind. They take advantage of their access to financial corporations. We're talking huge companies like Evergrande. We're talking huge companies like banks and insurers, and they use every loophole in the book that they can. They take advantage of entire universities, right? Some crazy lady that tries to sleep with me and shoot pornos with me gets really frustrated that it didn't work out, and she comes to act as suddenly she's cross-dressing and being my Spanish teacher at NAU, and that's supposed to be a huge coincidence, right? tell the community housing folks at NAU, hey, I have had an order of protection against this specific individual in the past. I can't be living with him. Next thing you know, they make Saif ul Haq my roommate. They make Joshua Gus, an old classmate of mine from elementary school, who, we were never really close friends back then either. They make them my roommates, and it's just like, it's very obvious how complicit all of these folks are, and it's very obvious how desperate and what links they will go to try to get at some money. And what tends to be an afterthought is that they're putting their finances on the line, and that I have recourse for all the things that they're doing. And I don't even have to pursue this recourse personally. It just kind of happens alone, right? It kind of happens on its own through the shadow court system. And, they end up losing their homes. They end up losing funds that they gain from trying to shoot pornos with me. And they all get in trouble for it. And some sweet individual that just wanted to stop by and say hello, like Gabby, or, some gentle soul that just wants to do the right thing, like Joshua Gus, their finances are suddenly put on the line. I mean, these are people that I knew when I was a little kid, but I don't conspire with them. They're not my caregivers in any sense. And it's just really sad. It's really fucking sad. And I feel like I've done everything that I could for people that just keep shooting themselves in the foot and keep gambling their money off. But I ran out of things that I can do. The best thing I can do now is just tell everybody, like, look, don't be like these people. I know it seems like a magnanimous amount, a humongous amount of money, and that you should gamble your own finances away trying to get a piece, but you won't get a piece because the defense is much stronger than you think, and because I've been through everything in the book so far, and your attempts are very fucking obvious. And so I like to put this warning out there, like, hey, don't be like these fucking idiots that gambled everything away because they thought they could have something better, because they thought they could rob somebody. Just don't do that. It just doesn't work out. It doesn't pay off. Gabriella, the old friend of mine, she talked to me and she's like, hey Mo, I can't be involved with you anymore because I feel like you might be on the wrong side of things, and I feel like you might be keeping all these finances to yourself. And it's like, that's fine. I don't need to be involved with you personally either. It's not like we've talked to each other in a fucking very long while. But, on a basic human level and in a sense of childhood appreciation, by the way, I really fucking love you. And if you seriously think that I'm just going to pocket all this cash and walk away, I want you to know that you're wrong. And if you want to be one of the people that acts as a messenger of some sort and helps distribute some of the funds later on down the road, once I figure out what a fair amount is and who went too far and who didn't, then sure, I think I'd prefer a healthy community and a sustainable ecosystem. But at the same time, when rapists and literal people that have raped and people that have murdered are trying to get at my finances, when people that have attempted to murder me several times are trying to get at my finances, when people who replace my medication with actual opioid fentanyl to try to poison me, and I have to go to the ER about that, when these kinds of people are involved, I don't think their behavior should be rewarded, because at that point it stops being a war game exercise, right? If you're Sayef Abdullah and you change lanes in traffic to try to T-bone me in the middle of an intersection when one of your childhood friends died that way, then I don't think you should be owed any of my finances, because you went way too far. It stops being a war game exercise at that point, and it just becomes a desperate attempt to do anything to kill this guy and get his money, right? And so there's some caveats, and I had to send an email to Gabby. I was like, hey, this comes from a place of goodwill and love. I understand you have an in with the gay community as well, and you stand up for them, and it's like, that's really cool of you, and I respect that a lot. And so maybe you can be some sort of diplomat when the time comes. And I don't know when that time's going to come. These people are intentionally delaying the adjudication of the security clearance because they want to line their pockets as much as possible. That includes folks like General Charles Brown, yada, yada, yada. The list goes on. And so I feel like I'm putting my best foot forward here, right? Like I'm protecting the Flagstaff communities from folks like the Ulhuk family and the Abdullah family, admirals who are billionaires because of how many people they fucking robbed. I feel like I'm kind of protecting these folks from them by putting the truth out there. I'm like, hey, if you're expecting money from these folks just because they're forcing you to be involved, you're just a part of the psyop. Like you're being used, And if you think that I expect to win friendships by just running off with a bunch of money and leaving everybody high and dry, I think you're wrong. I moved to Flagstaff from the other states whence I lived, and I'm just here for school. But it's like I'm here, therefore I'm a part of the community. I try to be a good community member. I'm a very generous person. In the past, I've had friends tell me like, hey, like this gift is a little bit overboard. You need to dial it back. Hey, that's too many gifts. You need to dial it back. I volunteer in community organizations, whether it be for LGBTQ folks or for the unhoused individuals, or if it's just a cute little community garden. I try to make the world a better place, and I feel like people are just listening to the propaganda that billionaires are spouting out of their buttholes, billionaires that have failed and failed and failed again. And so if by some miracle you felt that these people that have a track record of robbing everybody and becoming billionaires because of it are telling the truth, then you should take note of the fact that for months and months and months they failed because they're just a bunch of inbred idiots. And I wish I was joking about that, but honest to God, I'm not. These folks have failed and failed and failed because they think to access my security clearance compensation, they can live with me, point a gun at me, and say, this is how it's going to go down. We're going to rob you. You need to give us your money. Well, guess what? I just got a restraining order, and their entire plan got spoiled, and they basically have no recourse because I have an affidavit with the court systems that says, hey, this is what these folks are up to. This is what I'm dealing with. They're going to try to put me under a conservatorship to try to siphon off my finances, and there is basically there is no approach that they can use to ever become friends with me again, let alone some sort of caregiver, let alone some sort of guardian, let alone some sort of conservator. And so they failed. I mean, they failed massively. They fucked up. They put a guy with fetal alcohol syndrome in charge, who is, to this day trying to get me to fuck his wife, even though he knows that I have much better romantic prospects, far better romantic prospects. And he even knows that I'm not pursuing any of those romantic prospects because it just isn't the time in my life. I mean, I've released a video where I said, hey, guys, everybody, I decided that for the duration of this security clearance compensation disbursement process, investigation, quote unquote process, because they're not investigating, they're just trying to fuck me over at this point to try to rob me. They finished investigating. I'm much cleaner than they are, to tell you the truth. These people do not have our nation's interests in mind, and they have Yankee white security clearances, and it's like they don't have our nation's interests in mind. These people are trying to sell the government off to foreign nations and foreign entities. The other day, folks from Palestine were passing money over as a foreign investment into the security clearance theft process because they were claiming that I'm anti-Palestinian. And let me clarify this from right now before I continue explaining this. This is not a partisan issue. This is not a Palestine versus Israel war. In fact, Saif Abdullah works with Israelis to try to rob me of my security clearance, and so he does that. He's like doing a double agent thing. He goes to Palestine and he says, Mo is an Israeli, get him, right? And then he comes over here and he's like doing his little dealings with the Israelis. And just the other day his pops got in trouble for shifty shit like that, and it's just like I just don't want to be involved with these folks. Like I said, it's the track record. Like I said, it's the way they treat people, and like I said, it's the way they intend to treat the community, and it's with disrespect, and it's with a lack of trust, and it's with dishonor. I mean, sometimes there is honor among thieves, but I don't think you guys should be turning to the billionaires that made all of their money from doing this to other people. Um, I don't think you should be turning to them with a trust of honor. Um, I don't intend to give every penny away. These people have robbed 10 years of my life. They've strung my security clearance process along for 10 years intentionally to try to rack up a bigger and bigger and bigger compensation that they could take away as some sort of bonus. And so if you lost 10 years of your life, I don't think you would give every penny away, but I assure you, I intend to be generous, if not for my own good, by the goodwill of people like the Mihailovich family and their daughter Gabby that are like, hey Mo, by the way, this is how this stuff works. This is how this culture works. This is how sustainability works, and this is how you save the world. And it's like, okay, I'm all ears, and you aren't coming at me with a sense of fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're coming at me with a sense of, hey, listen up, by the way, And so it's just a stark difference. It's like, when I can have a community like that, why would I settle for a community of xenophobes who try to start race wars, who try to start gender and sexuality wars? Like, why would I ever settle for that when there are amazing people out there like this who are able to solve these issues in much more diplomatic ways? And it's not like it's not like anybody else ever explained those things to me. It's not like anybody else was ever as diplomatic with me. And I did have to push Gabby out of my life, and I did have to push her family out of my life, because it seems like there's a conflict of interest there, with their family being, pretty popular as, good folks in the intelligence community. It's like, well, sorry, I'm just not a part of that community, and a lot of the people that are trying to fuck me over are. And so, ta-ta for now, but rest assured, I stick to my word, and, my promises are good, and I intend to, at the bare minimum, take care of people. I don't think I need to buy 500 private islands and 3 mountains of cocaine and 50 piles of hookers to live a happy, productive life. I just think I need a good person in my life, and I need to live in a good way, and my good way tends to steer towards serving people. It tends to steer towards contributing to the greater good of the human condition. And let me tell you, these people with private airplanes and private jets and airstrips and yachts and mansions in many cities around the world, and hidden away bank accounts in other countries, these people who depend on their daddy's bank account, and they're riding their parents' coattails to use as their identity. These people that have a track record of robbing fuck tons of people for fuck tons of money and somehow becoming billionaires by it. I don't think those are the people you want to rely on and trust in. I get it. I'm just a strange dude going to NAU, dealing with some corruption, and who am I to say this and that? But I've just laid the facts out there. I laid the facts bare, and I have no incentive to push out propaganda. At the most, I'm protecting myself, and I'm saying, hey, this is what's what. But I have no incentive to buy out entire neighborhoods of rentals. I have no incentive to buy out entire companies and or buy portions of companies, and forcibly fire one individual. When somebody has so much power that they're buying up a strip mall, and just so they can have the power to hire and fire one person, maybe they're a shitty person, right? When they're billionaires, because they've done that to so many other people, maybe they're shitty people. And I understand everybody wants to make it, even if it's like slightly illicit. I've been a cool guy before. I've done hood shit with my friends. I love it. It's a good time. I get it. But I just want people to know that they're setting themselves up for failure by doing their dealings with these failures of individuals. Their bank accounts might have huge numbers, but their character traits and their values are way in the gutter. They're very low people. They're very shitty people. And I tried to be friends with them, but It's just not worth being friends with somebody for the sake of some sort of maslaha, the same way they marry each other for some sort of maslaha. It's just pathetic and weird. And maslaha is an Arabic word. It's kind of like, I have a hard time translating certain words. It's like for benefits, for benefits sake, right? Like if I found a Harris woman who was due to inherit a ton of money if her 100 billionaire father passed away, I would be, and that alone is why I was marrying her, then maybe I would be marrying her for maslahah sake or for benefit's sake. And I don't live my life that way because, like many people, I've read so many stories about people caving into the wrong influences and ending up with very pathetic lives. And these folks that are trying to get me to bang their wives and their mothers, instead of just taking the loss in silence, they're going out with a whimper like pathetic losers, and they're throwing the woman of their family in the gutter. And it's just, gosh, I feel like I've explained enough, guys. It's been 51 minutes now. But I just wanted to put my 2 cents out there and try to protect a community that, some might create false arguments that I'm up in arms against, while others might be able to cite evidence that I'm just a peaceful member of. But God help you guys. I know when people sniff a large amount of money, they do anything and everything. But I'm more of a person that enjoys alliances and benefiting one another through greater good and intentions to do a greater good, and maybe advice. Maybe if you guys could give me advice, I'm all ears. And that to me is even more of a reason to contribute to a community than hey, sleep with my wife, or hey, fuck you, we're gonna pretend you're anti-gay. I just think there are positive approaches to this. I think diplomacy is a part of war. If you want to approach this as a war game exercise, maybe you should consider the diplomatic approaches that work much more than the arm twisting attempts. Because clearly I'm a better wrestler than these fucking idiots. I don't know how you'd fare. I wish you well. I want everybody to be successful. I want everybody to get practice. But sometimes there are more diplomatic approaches, and threatening me with your daddy's money isn't going to do it. Threatening me with the fact that you're an assassin and you have tons of guns and weapon caches and shit tons of cars tucked away, if that's your threat, and that's how that's your approach to war, is boasting. I just think you look like an idiot, and I don't think you should represent any nation if that's how you approach things. I don't think you should represent Israel. I don't think you should represent Palestine. And I definitely don't think you should be a general in the United States of America, admiral, etc., etc. Some people just aren't fit to be executive officers. And then you come to find out that the way they made rank is by bribing high-level offices of our government, elected officials, with prostitutes. They have brothels, and they say, hey, General Charles Brown, Chief of Staff of the fucking Air Force, make sure you don't adjudicate his security clearance until we can put him under some sort of conservatorship. And they fail at that because I get restraining orders that details exactly what they're trying to do, because like a shitty supervillain, they tell me exactly what they're trying to do. And it's really sad. It's really sad to see that happen to our public offices, and people wonder why our nation is crumbling. People wonder why there's a housing crisis. People wonder why the minimum wages aren't enough. It's like, because no matter how much money you make, if people are able to just shovel money from your taxpayer dollars into their bank accounts, and to fund their yachts and their private airstrips and their private airplanes and their private jets and their vacations out to the islands, if these are the people that you're depending on to do the right thing instead of further finance their own luxurious lifestyles, then you're wrong and we're all fucked. And guess what? For so long we've all been wrong, and for so long we've all been so fucked because for some reason we figured that an elected official was going to be a trusted representative of the American people. Well, sometimes and very often in the military, an elected official is just somebody who scratched another person's back the right way or kissed their ass the right way. You know, when Saif ul Haq, a little boy with fetal alcohol syndrome who has the maturity of a preteen, somebody who shits on his own toilet seat when he tries to take a shit, um, somebody who vacuums milk when he spills milk and then wonders why the vacuum stinks. Um, if that person deserves to be an admiral, if that individual that gets scared of a scary movie and wants you to sit down next to him while he watches a scary movie in a protected living room, filled with hidden security cameras that he tried to use to fuck me over, but he just got fucked over himself. If you think those kinds of individuals should be admirals, then we're fucked, and we're already fucked. But I'm just telling you this in case, by some miracle, you're in a position of high regard to where you can say, hey, maybe the clinically retarded individual who poops on his own toilet seat because he missed, maybe that person shouldn't be an admiral, right? Like, if you try to throw your poop downwards with your own butthole and somehow you land square on the back of the toilet seat, maybe you need help, right? If you have mental breakdowns because you smoke a blunt every night and your mental health is out of whack because your endocrine system is really fucked up and you're really depressed all the time, maybe you shouldn't be an admiral. Maybe Sayyaf Abdullah shouldn't be fighting to protect this individual who's absolutely clinically retarded and who's absolutely guilty of all of the things I got a restraining order against him for. And, I just want you to know that I keep putting my best foot forward. I just keep going about my life as best as I can. But, when I worry about teachers, when I worry about faculty putting their finances on the line, I get really worried because I care about our teachers, I care about our public educators, and I don't think those kinds of individuals should be losing everything because some asshole with a hedge fund, some asshole with a multinational corporation that brings in investments from abroad just to rob those people from abroad. I don't think our teachers and our faculty and our public educators should be trusting these individuals with their own funds. I think it's a really fucking bad idea. I think it's a death sentence, and I want to protect them, right? I want them to live well. I want them to have money. When you have a birthday, you're supposed to give a slice of fucking birthday cake to people you appreciate. And so I want them all to come to my birthday party. But the way to not go about that is the way to not get a birthday cake, the way to get negative birthday cake, the way for the government to tell you, hey, by the way, you better start baking some fucking cakes because you are way deep in the hole, is by listening to these guys. And they've done it to so many communities. They've done it to people in Idaho when I lived in Idaho. They've done it to people in New Mexico when I lived in New Mexico. They did it to the Phoenix community. They've done it to Palestinian communities. They've done it to Pakistani communities. They've done it to Israeli communities. These people are just robbing everybody to protect their own assets. They are going to socialize their losses as they have been, as they have a track record of doing, and they're going to privatize the gains as they have been doing and as they have a track record of doing. So if you're expecting a birthday cake from them, expect more of a chocolate chip. And they might want you to celebrate because of the prestige and because of, as an intelligence community, we worked together and we succeeded. But the absolute prize, it's all going to their pockets, all of it. And I'm so sorry, guys. I'm doing my best out here for you guys, but some of you guys just don't seem to see that. Some of you guys seem to be caving into the propaganda instead. I just want you to know that I love you all, especially the people that set me on the right path and straighten me out and give me some perspective and let me know that they won't be involved with my life if I make certain decisions. And for that reason, as much as I can't trust and can't be involved with Gabby, thank you, Gabby, for that. As much as I can't trust and can't be involved with the Puhek family, I'm thankful for that. Thankful for them for telling me that. These people have, some of these folks have done awful things to me, but the fact that way in the back of their head somewhere, part of their reasoning was to protect everybody else, they have my backing, because that's basically the entire reason a fucking military exists. And that's entirely how I got into all of this. And so I wish you all the best. Sorry this video was so fucking long, but it's kind of like a plea for protection for all of you guys. You know, it's been really rough. It's been really rough to see people get hurt. I just don't like it. I really don't. But you know, maybe you guys could help me find a woman not of these folks choosing in the future if I become successful. I don't know. I don't know what kind of woman I'm looking for. I don't want you guys to crowdsource looking for a woman for me. People have already been doing that. It's really weird. But anyways, all jokes aside, thanks so much, guys, for listening. I wish you all the luck in the world. I really hope you actually listen. You know, I understand whether your opinion may vary, but you know, I think my track record and my service and my intentions are very easy to prove, and I think their track records and their intentions and how they use their service is very evident to have been lacking in integrity and lacking in care for the countrymen of America, countrymen and women, and countrywomen of America. Anyways, fuck, I'm tired. And you know, Joshua Gus is probably bitching in the other room. Anyways, good night, guys.